Do you own an Atari Jaguar, or are you looking to get one, but you're put off by the crazy amount of money that people charge for the crappy games released for the system? I mean, there's some gems, I know there are. And do you want the convenience of an emulator with the accuracy of original hardware? Well, maybe a flashcart is for you. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Jaguar GameDrive. This was made by Retro HQ. Stone Age Gamer currently sells this amongst many other flashcarts. That's where I get all my flashcarts from, is Stone Age Gamer. Typically, I go for the deluxe edition like this is set up. Comes with the extra box, few extra little stickers, that kind of thing, and like an extended warranty. I always think it's worth the few extra dollars to go the deluxe edition, but here's the GameDrive. This is a flash cart. We can load up the entire library of cartridge games on a micro SD card, pop it into this thing, and play all of them on original hardware. There's a few little things we can do extra with it as well, like play CD-based games without the CD add-on. That's kind of cool. But today, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be getting this thing set up, showing you guys how to add the complete library of games onto this thing and testing it out. See what to do with this thing. I was pretty excited to get my hands on this and, give it a whirl. I know a lot of the games aren't great, but there's still some that are kind of cool and exclusive to this console. So, without further ado, let's get right on into it. Okay, so we're going to want to go ahead and get the Jaguar GameDrive all set up. I'm going to guide you through this, getting it updated, getting your games added to it, everything ready to roll. Pretty simple, easy process. First up, you're going to want to head to the Retro HQ website. I will put a link in the description, making it easy for you. Scroll down to the bottom where the resources are. There's a lot of important stuff here. Go ahead and download whatever you want, but what we're focusing on today is the JCD ISO converter. That's going to convert CD games to be able to be used on the Jaguar GameDrive to play those, CD-based games without the need for the expensive, unreliable CD add-on for the system. I think that's pretty cool. It's currently in beta, so there may be some issues. Some games may not run, but hey, why not utilize it, right? And then the other thing we're going to focus on is the firmware. Go ahead and download that because that's going to give us access to any bug fixes that have happened over time and access to that CD game support. So go ahead and download that, put it on the root of your micro SD card that you're going to use for the Jaguar GameDrive. These other items here, you can download the Bad Apple demo to take a look at that, a few other freeware things here, and then the marquee creator, which will create the artwork that displays in the menu on the GameDrive. We're not going to need that. I'm going to show you in a second here one thing you can do, but I'm going to focus on converting CD games and the firmware. So on your micro SD card that you're going to use for the Jaguar GameDrive, if you downloaded the zip file for the firmware straight to it, just go ahead and, extract it there. So there you go. We can go ahead and delete that zip. Get rid of the README. We don't really need that. So firmware.upd, that needs to be on the root of the micro SD card, not in a folder or anything like that. If you're ready to update your firmware, you can go ahead and take out the micro SD card, pop it into the GameDrive, boot up your Jaguar, and let it update. It will show that it's updating, and then from there you can remove it, delete the firmware update from the micro SD card if you like. I've left it on and have booted it up multiple times, and it doesn't attempt to re-update the firmware, so that's up to you. Now, I do have several folders here. So I have a games folder that has all my games with the MRQs, so I do have the artwork that will display on the actual system through the UI on the GameDrive. Then I have a CD games folder that I don't have anything in at the moment, and then the Bad Apple demo. So one thing people are always asking me, where do you get these games? I will give you a little bit of a hint. So if you go to the Internet Archive, archive.org, I will put archive.org in the description just so you can easily get here, but you're going to have to search for yourself. But as you see, all I searched for was Atari Jaguar GameDrive, and everything I need to get ready and rocking is right here for me, ready to go. So we have some options. Any other system you're looking for, just search for Redump, search for TOSEC, all that good stuff. You will find what you're looking for on the Internet Archive. But I found this interesting. I'm actually downloading this right now. Complete Atari Jaguar JCD and MRQ set. So this right here, if you go in here, this has all of the CD games that are known to work, or at least I think they're known to work, converted into JCD so they're ready for the GameDrive, and with the MRQ so the artwork shows up. If you download all this, you just pop it into a folder or straight to the root of your micro SD card. I'm going to put all this stuff into the CD games folder that I created. So you can go ahead and get that there. And then also the complete Jag GD game drive. This is going to have everything ready to go as well. If you go in here and take a look at the contents of the zip file, it will have all the games. If you download here you go, complete Jag GD game drive compatible with MRQ files. If you download that, it's 104 megabytes. Extract that to the root of your SD card, your micro SD card. You're going to have all of the games for the system ready to go with the artwork. But let's go ahead and take a look at how to convert CD games if you don't want to do this, the easy way. You want to do the more difficult way, which is still pretty simple, but let's take a look. So if you remember a moment ago, I pointed you to this resource area to download the JCD ISO converter. That will give you this folder or zip right here, CD to JCD. Extract that, and then you're going to have this executable. Now, any games that you download, you're going to want to have to put that CD to JCD extension in the folder. So we have like Blue Lightning right here. This is in bin and queue. I'm pretty sure it states that tons of formats will work, but take a look at the documentation on that. But if you use bin and queue, you should be fine. So what we're going to want to do, and that was downloaded straight off of archive.org. So that was the redump from the redump set. So I'm going to put that CD to JCD in that folder. And as you see, it's down here now. I'm going to take that Q file and drag it to the CD executable. And then boom, we're going to get this command prompt that pops up. If you have any kind of issue where the game will not be converted or there's an error, it will give you an error on that screen. So as you see now, we have that JCD. So that is ready to be put onto our micro SD card. So if we want to put that game, all we need is the JCD. We don't need all that other stuff. We could just go ahead and take that and put that into our CD games folder. And now, once all that's done, we can go ahead and put that SD card back into the game drive, power up the Jaguar. We got all our games ready to go. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Here we go. The Retro HQ game drive is booted up. And here are the 3 directories that you saw as folders on my micro SD card, the Bad Apple, CD games, and the cartridge-based games. So user interface, pretty basic, gets the job done. Can't really complain. So let me go ahead and select the CD game, show you what this looks like. This is all the stuff I got off the Internet Archive. Has the box arts and the screenshot all ready to go. It gives it a little extra flair. I dig it. I dig it. Not the hugest library in the world of games here, but you know what? If you're into the Jaguar and you want access to some of this stuff, this is a fantastic way to go about it, right? So here's all the cartridge-based games. You got Breakout 2000, Cybermorph, Defender, Doom. Okay, so let's find something to load. There's not a ton of games for this system, but there's a few interesting ones. I do want to test out Wolfenstein 3D. That's one of them I was interested in seeing. But there we go. That's the full list that you've seen so far for the cartridge games. Not too many released, but here we go. Each game, depending upon the size, is going to take longer to load the larger the ROM is. But I don't think it's too unreasonable with how long it takes. But there we go. The game's loaded up. Let's get into it. I've never played this one before on the Jaguar, but immediately it does seem fairly crispy and fluid. For the most part, the D-pad, I mean, it does take a little getting used to, but you know what? It feels pretty good for these, oh crap, these old school first-person shooters, the way you roll your thumb around on the D-pad. It feels pretty good. But there's that, little bit of Wolfenstein. Let's load up a CD-based game next. So I was really hoping to be able to show some CD gameplay, but unfortunately, everything I've tried, I'm not getting these games to load. When I do select a game, it just goes to a black screen after a few moments. It seems like this is a common issue. It could be the micro SD card I'm using. On the Atari Age forums, there's a lot of troubleshooting, and there's recommendations on SD cards to use, different types of programs to get the SD card set up. And I've tried a few different things. I don't have the recommended micro SD card, so I'm unable to test that out. But with this being in beta, I mean, there's definitely going to be a few issues here and there as far as the CD game support goes. It's only a small handful of games, but, some people are getting it working, some people are not, and Sorry, I've been sitting here for about 2 hours now doing everything I could to try to get some CD gameplay up, but it just has not worked for me. I've reformatted the games, done it myself, re-downloaded stuff, and it's just not working for me. All the original games for the cartridge-based system through the GameDrive works just fine for me. Not having any issues with that, so that's cool. I mean, the CD support's just kind of a bonus thing, but that does seem like it needs some more work. Being in beta, it's understandable. But hey guys, really do appreciate you hanging out with me on this video. I do have another Jaguar video coming up talking about some other accessories for the system. So hopefully you take a look at that if you have some interest. That'll be up in a day or two or so, something like that. But hey, really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Thanks for hanging, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace out, bye-bye, and boom. Bye.